The Nintendo Switch 2 is just about 2 weeks away from launching, and there's a lot to be excited about. From Gamecube on Nintendo Switch Online to great new games, I have gathered 5 reasons why I'm excited for the Nintendo Switch 2. But real quickly before we get started, I would appreciate if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel. I have a Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order that I plan to unbox and review on this channel when it comes out, so you're not going to want to miss that. Also, thank you to all who watched and liked my previous video on Switch 2 hype. Your support is really helpful to my channel's growth and pushing it out to more people, so thank you so much. At number 1, we have free updates for Nintendo Switch games on Nintendo Switch 2. So you may have heard about the paid upgrades for certain Nintendo Switch games on Switch 2, but these free updates were kind of up in the air until recently. So we have some info from Nintendo on their website on what these updates include. So some games just have updates in resolution, some games have frame rate updates, some have HDR support. It's kind of varied across the board. Games like ARMS have all three, so you've got visuals, frame rate, and HDR support updates. You have games like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which update the visuals and add HDR support to the game on Switch 2. And you also have Game Builder Garage, surprisingly, which is going to just update the visuals. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which also just updates the visuals. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which will be updating the visuals and improving the frame rate. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, it'll be updating the visuals and frame rate, and then adding HDR support for Bowser's Fury only. And then you also have Super Mario Odyssey, which adds improved visuals and HDR support. And then Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, adding improved visuals and HDR support. I'll never complain about free updates for games that improve visuals and all that, but kind of a random list. You've got some obvious choices like Mario 3D World, Mario Odyssey, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, those make sense. But then you've got ones like Game Builder Garage or Mario U Deluxe, which don't make sense because you're updating Mario U, but not updating Mario Wonder. Like, what's going on with that? I don't get it. Some of these updates might actually be nice for getting people back onto old games like ARMS. Pretty sure everybody forgot about that game, but some people might go back and play it now that it's got improved visuals, improved frame rates, and HDR. It might encourage people to go back. So overall, it's nice, but I'm not sure how useful a lot of these are. Number 2, Nintendo Switch Online Gamecube. So when Gamecube support was announced in the Nintendo Direct, a lot of people were like, oh, that's cool, and then they saw the price of Mario Kart World, and that's all they've been talking about, and then making up other things that Nintendo is allegedly doing wrong, that other competitors have been doing for quite a long time. So, we've been lost in this mess of Switch 2 hate, but GameCube is something that I feel like has been kind of not talked about. I mean, we have classics like F-Zero GX, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, I think there's Soul Calibur 2, and then you've got some that are hinted at to be added in the future, such as Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion, Chibi Robo, and Pokemon Coliseum, among others. And it looks pretty cool. You've also got this controller that I guess it's sold out. It was very hard to get, which was surprising because it was for Switch Online members only, but maybe people are thinking about this, but they were just like, oh, that's cool, and then wanted to rant about other things. But it's GameCube. It's gonna be great, and we get it on launch day. Do I wish we got more on launch day, or maybe different games? Sure, but we're getting Wind Waker and we're getting F-Zero on launch day, so I would say that that's a win. I'm kind of sad that I did not see Mario Kart Double Dash in the announcement. Hopefully that gets added in later on. It's probably going to be later on if they do add it, since it wasn't in the coming soon section. But, we get Luigi's Mansion and Mario Sunshine coming up soon. So, yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm excited to play these. Number 3, upgrade packs. So while we do have these free updates for Nintendo Switch games, we do have these Switch 2 Edition games which are going to be adding DLC content. So we basically get graphics boosts and we get DLC for the price of normal DLC. And some of it is debatable if it's good, but a lot of it to me looks great. Like, I see Mario Party Jamboree getting DLC. I'm pretty happy about that. Jamboree TV looks really good. A lot of new minigames that use the Switch 2. There's actually a reason for me to buy the Switch 2 camera because the Jamboree TV is going to use it, and it's not just going to be for game chat. It's actually going to use it for gameplay, and then we've also got mic support, and mouse controls are also going to be used in Jamboree TV, and that's just one of these upgrade packs. We have the new Zelda upgrade packs, which are going to mostly feature graphics updates, but in the Nintendo Switch app, there's also going to be a DLC essentially, but it's not built into the game. The main gimmick is that there's kind of a Google Maps feature where it can guide you to a certain location. You can just set it, and you can also look at the map on your smartphone and play on your system. But there's also this thing where it reads off certain things in the voice actor's voice when you go to certain locations, like I think Zelda reads off the backstory, and it's the actual voice actor of Zelda. She reads off the backstory of a certain location when you go there. It's pretty interesting, and there's also a lot of little things that are in this app. I know another one is where you can share creations in the Tears of the Kingdom app, so it's kind of cool. I'm not sure how many people are going to be using this, but it's a cool addition, and the people that are, it's probably going to be very helpful. And then Kirby and the Forgotten Land is getting an upgrade pack. It's called the Star-Crossed World. It's basically a new story mode, and there's also a graphics update as well. And Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon Legends ZA are also going to be getting these upgrade packs when they come out, which the Metroid Prime 4 one will add mouse control support and improve visuals. So there's going to be like a performance mode that will allow the game to run at 1080p but 120 FPS, and then there's a quality mode which allows the game to run at 4K 60 FPS. The Switch 2 cannot do 4K and 120 FPS at the same time, but when one of those specs is a little bit more limited, it can hit the other, and both of those benchmarks can be hit according to Nintendo. Now, the Switch 2 editions do cost money. The Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom ones are going to be $10, but they will be included in the Switch Online Plus expansion pack, so if you have that, you can get those for free in the Switch Online membership. And then you have the more expensive DLC packs for $20, and this is Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, and then Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World. And these packs have more beef to them. They are like full DLC packs. I mean, you've got Mario Party Jamboree, which adds, I think it's like 15 or 20 minigames. And then it also adds different modes and camera support, so you can play with a camera in Mario Party mode. So it adds a lot to the actual game. And then you've got Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World. The Star-Crossed World is a new story mode, so it's basically more game right there. So I think $20 is fair for these upgrade packs, and these are basically DLC, so, 20 makes sense. And then, of course, Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2 Edition and Pokemon Legends ZA. Obviously, those games do not have release dates, and we do not know how much those will cost, so you will have to wait until a later date. Those might be free, but I imagine that they cost more. I'm not too sure. Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2 Edition and Pokemon Legends EA, both of them are going to have better graphics on Switch 2, and we already see these free updates with other Switch games, so I'm imagining these will cost money. I would guess $10, maybe Nintendo would do it for $5. I'm not too sure yet. Number 4, an improved user interface. So initially when the Switch 2 Direct aired, Nintendo did not give much of an overview on the Nintendo Switch 2 home menu, but since then, if you haven't heard of the new Nintendo Today app, it basically gives you a look at Nintendo as a whole, and it's been getting Switch 2 updates every day where it shows something about the Switch 2, and the home menu happens to be something that we've seen quite a lot of on this app. And one thing in particular that has been very noticeable is that the sounds of the home menu have changed a lot, and the home menu looks different but the same, if that makes any sense. So if you take a look at the video, the corners of like the game titles and all that are rounded, and the interface feels just more sleek. It's kind of interesting how they've changed it, and some of the icons look a bit different too. And then you start playing the sounds, and it just seems like a completely different experience. And then it goes into the controller settings, and those sounds are completely different. The menus look a little bit different. It's changed a bit, but it still feels like the Nintendo Switch. I really like what they've done here because it feels like a successor to the Nintendo Switch that still bears the name, but it feels like it's going to have its own unique personality as a console. And I really like that because it feels like the Nintendo Switch 2 is a different console from the Nintendo Switch, but it's still in the Nintendo Switch family. So, you know, does this really change anything about how the Switch 2 is going to function? Not really, but it's just something I've noticed, and it's kind of just an aesthetic change. The Nintendo Today app also showed us that the home menu will be compatible with mouse controls, so you can basically use your Switch 2 Joy-Con and glide it across your mouse pad to select your games or select what menu you want to go into. Again, is this something that's really going to be too helpful? No, but it's really cool. I do like how Nintendo is changing a few things about the home menu of the Nintendo Switch 2. I thought that it was just going to be a basic, slightly refreshed version, but Nintendo is kind of changing it a little more than I thought, so kind of cool. Number 5, improved games. How can we talk about a video game console without talking about the games? They're the most important part, of course. We have great games coming to the Switch too, and I feel like it's being overlooked a bit. We have Mario Kart World. Yes, guys, it's $80. We get it. But it's $50 in the Switch 2 bundle, so that argument I don't really want to hear anymore, because if you really want the game at a good price, you can get it at a good price. But Mario Kart World looks like an incredible game. Now, did that Mario Kart World Direct really do the game justice like we actually thought it would? Not really. It just kind of showed off the game and then threw in some fluff that we already kind of expected. Like, it showed off a couple of new features. Like, I think they have the charge boost, so you don't need a ramp to jump boost anymore. You can just charge one up. And then there was that rewind feature, and then they showed off the battle mode. But it was just basically more footage of a game that we were already kind of expecting to be that way. So, you know, it didn't do as much as we thought. The presentation aside though, this game looks incredible. It looks very high quality, the resolution looks beautiful, Mario in 4K looks great. It's something we never could have seen on the Switch, and I'm very happy to see that on Switch 2. And we also have other games, like DK Bonanza. DK Bonanza, actually, I kind of have to compare to a PS5 game, Astrobot. So I, not too long ago, got a PS5. So to all of those people who think I'm a Nintendo glazer, I bought a PS5, so that says a lot about me as a gamer. And I have been playing Astrobot recently. I played Astro's Playroom, and I'm playing Astrobot right now, and I love it. I think that it's a great take on 3D gaming. It's clear that the folks who worked on it at PlayStation Studios, they studied how Nintendo goes about 3D games, and then they just made it better. And DK Bonanza's looking a lot like that. Astrobot is very approachable because it's a simple game, but it's the experience that makes it so good because it has so many different mechanics. And DK Bonanza looks like it's kind of following in a similar but different way. DK Bonanza seems to have the gimmick of destroying everything, something that games have not really done before. Astrobot had like a new mechanic every level, but you've got DK Bonanza that has this destroy everything mechanic, and it seems like something that could be used very effectively if done right, and I can't wait to try it when I get the game, because it just looks so cool, and again, in 4K, something that Nintendo has never done, but it's really great to see because Nintendo's games are so quality, and just to see them in better graphics just makes them even more perfect, so I'm very happy to see games like Mario Kart World and DK Bonanza, because I know I'm going to have a blast with them. They look really fun, and I think Switch 2 as a whole is just really looking to be a good Nintendo generation. And we finally get a Mario Kart that's not a port from another console. But anyway, those are 5 more reasons I'm excited for the Nintendo Switch 2. Do you hate me for being excited for Nintendo games and want to call me a glazer? Let me know down in the comments, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. As a reminder, I will be unboxing and reviewing a Switch 2 when it comes out. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day.